Hi, welcome to Beautiful Dorks. I'm Tammy Fryer, your host, and I want to introduce our special guests today, Carmen Perez Ahmed and Pete Swingle. And they're with the P&C Salsa Dance Academy, and we want to invite them over today because we have a section of our show called Follow Your Bliss. And our show basically comes from a premise that the purpose of life is to live in joy. Okay, we just wanted to invite you because you're very passionate about your salsa dancing. And I know that when I go to your studio, there's a feeling there of joy. And that's huge for me because I live by, I try to live by the premise of the show, which I'm very passionate about. And I can tell when I watch both of you dance that you're in joy. And also when I was dancing and I was new, I remember dancing with you, Pete, and you were really just comfortable. It made me feel comfortable by saying, hey, just have fun, have a good time. And I thought, this really works for me. He gets it. And so I wanted to invite both of you, and I just wanted you to share with the rest of us, basically, how you got started. How did you find your passion? Because I know this is your passion, I can tell, by the way you dance and also the feel at your studio. So if you could tell me a little bit about how you got started. Maybe you want to start, Carmen, with how you got started, what your background is, and how you had the courage to go boldly forward to follow your bliss.
Okay. Well, I came from a dancing family. My family, everybody dances in my family. I mean, not formally trained or anything. It's just
for the joy of it?
Yes, just for the fun of it. I'm Mexican, so we grow up with parties all the time, and everybody dances, even if it's just by yourself. So I grew up with dance. I come from there, but I like partner dancing since I was a teenager. So I've been dancing, and I didn't dance for a long time. I got married, had children, went to school. So became a mechanical engineer, did the family thing, the job thing.
So you did the job thing and the family thing. Do you feel that you were following what you wanted, or were you basically doing what most people do, just do what was expected?
I did what was expected because, I got married, like I said, and then so the expectation is you need to contribute. You have 3 children, you need to contribute to bringing money into the family, and I did. Chose a career just strictly for that, for bringing money in. And
so you were going after the security rather than. Did anybody ever ask you when you were growing up if you could do anything? What would it be?
Yes, my father actually did, and actually what I said, I wanted to be a doctor.
Really?
And actually I did go to school to pre-med for 2 years. And it didn't work out for me. The load was really big for somebody who was married with a child and working full-time and having a family life, and I just decided to change my major into engineering, work better for me.
So you did something that was practical and that you needed to do in order to survive, in order to take care of your children, which is nothing wrong with that.
No.
But did you find yourself happy when you were doing the engineering?
Well, at first I did, because I do like those kind of things. I grew up also on my father's side. He's an engineer also. He's an electrical engineer. And I was exposed to the technical stuff. My stepfather was a mechanic, so I grew up with that also. All my cousins had motorcycles, and I rode them, and I helped them fix them. So I grew up, I was exposed to the technical, mechanical side.
You're a very modern woman, I mean, being able to do all that technically and riding bikes and things, that's pretty cool though. So you were passionate about it in the beginning, but your passion changed through time?
It became really, in the job, it was very competitive, and I felt like it was getting really, really hard to stay with it and be positive. At the same time, it was getting...
Was the work environment real toxic and real negative and real stressful?
Yes, it was.
So you
really
found yourself
stressful.
not enjoying it as much.
Right.
So maybe through life, we kind of go through things, and as it shifts, we get clearer about what we want, too.
Right, exactly. And then, I met Pete. I was going through a divorce. When I met Pete, I started martial arts. He was my first martial arts instructor. And I just fell in love with Aikido. That's what he did. He was a Aikido instructor when I met him, and
so you were passionate about the Aikido.
I fell in love with Aikido, and that was my first passion. Before I've always been passionate about dance, but I didn't have the passion for teaching dance. I never thought I was going to be teaching dance.
It just sort of evolved through going towards what you want. Right. What I find interesting is how when you go towards what you want, you started with Aikido and then salsa. and these other dances, and then you became an instructor, because I can tell you're very passionate when I watch you dance and I watch you at the studio, and I can tell that the money is the secondary focus. It's not that you don't want money and to make it, but when I go there, it doesn't feel like it's about the money, it's about the joy, which draws people in, which I think is very nice. But of course, money is an important aspect of a business.
It is nice that we are able to make a living doing what we love.
Well, that's the best
nice
of both
part.
worlds, isn't it?
So, yeah.
So tell me, how did you get involved in the dancing part? How did that come about?
Well, Pete and I started dancing, and he wasn't a dancer, and I kind of started bringing him around and to the dance clubs and stuff, and he started dancing eventually. And
she dragged me out.
She dragged you out, but you fell in love with it, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, definitely did, yeah, almost immediately.
So how did that happen, I mean, for you? So you were in martial arts, and that was your passion?
I trained in martial arts, and interestingly enough, I had a teacher that used to kind of direct me, used to give me books on dance.
It's kind of like planting the seed.
Yeah, I think he saw something, and but I was involved in Aikido, and Aikido also, if you've ever seen the art, is very sort of it's a martial art it's beautiful and dance-like, actually, very flowing, very circular.
Okay.
Yeah, and the whole philosophy is really not to overcome an opponent with force, but actually to move with that opponent and bring him to the ground and resolve the conflict in a way that's
more peaceful.
Yeah, more peaceful. Yeah.
That's interesting.
So yeah,
I like that.
The philosophies. Yeah, the philosophy was really cool, and then like Carmen said, we came here and we did that, and we got involved in dance, and we were just doing it as something for the two of us to do together. Initially, and we had a friend of ours whose father was teaching salsa, and his father became ill, and he asked us to take his class, and we ended up doing that, and we've been doing it kind of ever since. It just became...
So it just flowed?
Pretty much, yeah. It just flowed from one thing into the other, and I mean, initially we would send people to Studio 65, where we had learned dance.
And that's where you are now.
Right,
yes.
That's where we
are
now.
Everything's
full
kind
circle.
of, yeah, exactly. Everything's coming. We learned dance there initially, and we would send people back there, and then people started coming back to us from there and saying, we want to learn with you guys.
That's cool.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, so basically you just got excited about it. You were just doing it for the joy of it, and it sort of evolved into doing what you love for a living.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
For myself, I've always been involved in music. I mean, my father was a musician, and so for me, and then my mother was a dancer. So it just kind of...
Your mom was a dancer, too?
My mom was a
What
dancer.
kind of
My
dancer
sister,
was she?
she was ballet, modern, jazz, things like that.
Okay.
My sister as
His
well.
sister, too.
So I got involved with... so it just seems like a real natural kind of evolution, you know.
And then you told me you have this huge opportunity with this great salsa dancer. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're really excited about that. I went to an event down in Palm Springs, and I met Edie, the salsa freak.
The salsa freak, I love it. You won't forget that, will you?
No,
she sounds like a lot of fun, and she's lighthearted.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's been on the salsa scene ever since we started. She's got over 40 instructional videos. She travels the world, and she's just very well known as a teacher and instructor, and she keeps things lively and fun. Anyways, I got to dance with her, and we started talking, and she said she wanted to do a seminar with me, do a musicality seminar with me. And so she invited me to do that in Palm Springs. I'll be doing that in Palm Springs. And then Carmen and I got to talking, and we thought, you know, we got to bring her here and do an event with her. So it's a real big thing for Fresno salsa.
To have someone that's as versed as she is.
Yeah, kind of a big fish, in the salsa scene. So we're really excited about it.
This is going to be in March sometime?
Yeah, the 27th and the 28th.
So that'll be on the website. They can go to your website and get that information?
Yeah, all the information
that's
on there. So.
Well, I think that's exciting, because you're really... you were just dancing with her for the fun of it, right? You were just kind of going towards your flow, and everything's just flowing so easily and effortlessly as you go towards what you desire and what you enjoy.
Yeah, it's a little, definitely. I mean, it was, a little overwhelming. I didn't think that at all. It was just something that happened. So
you know what I think is amazing about that too is just because you're going towards your passion doesn't mean there are moments that aren't uncomfortable or overwhelming, right?
Right.
That means you're going through, because you never want to do like a tennis match where you can whoop your opponent. You want a little bit of challenge.
Absolutely.